Hi, hello, and welcome back to the channel. So today we are doing the starter motor on a BMW 528i. This is a 2011. Yeah, I hope the starter motor is bad. It's acting kind of like a bad starter motor. I go to start the car, and it won't even turn over. But it's fully powered. Seems like it has enough to at least, get a click from the starter, but I'm not getting anything. So, we're gonna go ahead and replace this. So what you do, you have to gain access to the starter motor, which is below all of this crap. Take off the valve, or the valve beauty cover, take off the airbox, this brace here, some of this evap stuff for the manifold. Then we have to take off the manifold itself to finally access the starter, which is way down there on the transmission. All right, so let's get started. Okay, first you want to remove the bracing here. This is a 15mm bolt. These both are 15mm, so remove that first. Okay, now you want to unplug the mass airflow sensor. It's right here. There's a little button on the back of it. And if you can't, reach your hand down there because it's such a small space, you want to go ahead and just remove the air box. And that's a T30 size socket there. So yeah, just start removing the hardware around the air box to see if you can get to the mass airflow sensor. You have to remove the air box. You want to also make sure you loosen the boot here so you can detach the air box from the boot. Looks like it couldn't be any simpler for BMW. So you have to remove all of these Torx around the airbox. Just remove the top end of the airbox. The bottom end, it seems like it's pretty flush with this piece here. So you need a T25 Torx to do that. Okay, next thing you want to do is remove this boot once you got the top of the airbox off. And let's see, you just want to remove the clip or the clamp that's on the boot. It's right there. So yeah, just remove that. There's your hardware to remove it. And this is a hard boot, so yeah, the whole thing should just pop out. Okay, with that out, you can now see the throttle body. You're gonna have to take the throttle body off, but you're also gonna have to take the beauty cover for the engine off, so go ahead and take those off now. And you have these hardware here for that. And they're all Allen keys. Okay, with the cover off, you now have access to on top of the manifold. Because you're removing the manifold, you have to remove everything on top of it too. So that's where they mount the DME, is right here. You also have to remove that. So we're gonna start with removing the throttle body, and then we'll see about the DME after that. The throttle body has 4 10mm bolts. It's 1, 2, and there's 2 under it. You see that one there. And there's another one on that side. So gotta remove that. Oh, and you also want to remove this connector here, because you're gonna have to remove that. So you just press the button on it and pull back. It's a typical type of connector. Oh look, that's a boot also. So you have to remove this boot in order to be able to get the throttle body off. So I've loosened it. I still can't remove it. That boot was annoying, but it comes off. So next is your 10mm bolts for the throttle body. Okay, so now you're at a part where you have to remove the DME. First, I'm going to disconnect the battery. And because I don't want any trouble, while I'm doing this, I'm going to leave the trunk open because I don't have a keyhole to get back here. If I close it, I don't want it to like lock itself or something crazy. It's an electronic actuator. So here's the battery. The battery's in the trunk of the car. When you come back here, you know, just lift up on this thing here. You're gonna have, I think it's a 10 millimeter here. Yeah, it's a 10 millimeter. And a 10 millimeter bolt there as well, or nut. Here's the nuts actually. They're gonna look like this. So you want to remove those two and then lift up. That should give you access to your battery. And you just have to remove the negative terminal, which is on the right side of the battery. So that's also a 10 millimeter. So loosen that and take off your negative terminal. Leave the trunk open if you can. Okay, with that disconnected, now you want to remove the connectors on the DME. You have this plug here. Looks like you push this little thing here, and you lift up on here. Then the plug should basically back itself out. So you just push. Don't mind my terrible gloves. You just push. Okay, just push it up there. This one's rather tight. And don't force these at all. let them do their thing. And actually take a picture of what this looks like so you make sure you get everything back in the right place. Okay. Okay, now you have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, T30 Torx bolts to remove the DME. So go ahead and remove that. Okay, there's connectors on this side of the DME too. So remove those and remove the DME. Put it somewhere safe. Now I'm trying to just get access to back here so I can remove the manifold. I had to remove this here. This is mounted right there. It's just there to clip in a bunch of the harnesses. So you want to move all this stuff out the way so you can get to the bolts so you can lift out the manifold. So basically clear up this area so you can work with the manifold. Okay, so there seems to be a small Torx bolt that's right here that mounts this little plastic bracket that just holds the wiring in place. So I'm just gonna move that so I can access that bolt to the manifold right there. Okay, so now that I have this out the way, I have to remove all these. I think they're 11 millimeter bolts. This is 1, there's 2, this one's a nut. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's 7 or 8 of them. But yeah, just all across the top of the intake manifold, you're gonna remove those bolts. You should be able to bring the manifold out. Okay. Now with the manifold unbolted, it's 7 bolts actually. Right here, you have a fuel line that I'm gonna have to disconnect it. I think you have to disconnect this, but even if you don't, I'm going to. If you can see, it kind of is wrapped around the manifold in a way. It's that line there, and I don't see how I would get the manifold off without, you know, kind of tucking that from around, and it's pretty tight. So yep, I think for these you just push this back, you push the line forward and push that in, push this black part in. So yeah, we're gonna give that a shot. Okay, so this is 3 hours later. And yeah, there's some crazy stuff under the manifold. So yeah, you have this little connector here that has to slip through this first intake runner. Oh gosh, why would they even do this like this? So I was just able to finally figure out I can just unplug that. At first I was going to try to unbolt this ventilator right here, this air hose here, because there's 2 bolts on it, or 2 Torx on it. But luckily I could just unplug this instead. Even further back, well, also, yeah, you do have to unclip the little connector from here, and then you have to also clip the one further back. And you'll You'll know what I'm talking about when you get there. But yeah, hopefully this comes out now. I'm about to try to see if I can pull it out. So yeah, still not out. I'm gonna remove these two here. I think these are the knock sensors. There's another one over there. And yeah, it's just, the wirings run all through a huge loom that's attached to the manifold. And I don't have time to fight with it, so I'm just gonna remove those and see if it helps out. Okay, well, I'm officially tired of fighting with it. So, well, I got it moved up out the way enough to where I can get to the starter. So I'm just gonna replace the starter here. And we have our starter bolts, which are this one here, which you have to remove from the back of the transmission. And let's see, there's also one on the opposite end of it, on the other side of this little triangle looking piece here. All right, so remove those. Also unbolt the power cable right here and unplug the connector here to remove it. Okay, the new starter's in. I was able to use an 11mm wrench, the closed off end, I think it's a 12 point end, to tighten the Torx on the back, and also the Torx down here to mount the starter. Okay, so now that I've done that, it's time to put everything back on, which is just the reverse loader removal. On this part, it's typically hard to not forget to plug something back up. So just, you know, retrace your steps very carefully and put everything back. I've already put the knock sensors back. Get it ready to play with the manifold, unfortunately. But okay, well, let's see if this works. And just like that, the car's back together. This job was really a little bit of a pain. There's not really the greatest access to get under the manifold and put everything back. Luckily, gladly, it was actually the starter that was wrong, and replacing it fixed the car. So the car started. We're good to go. Make sure you test drive the car, of course, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know if you have any comments or anything you have questions about. Yeah, see you in the next one. Thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe.